that's what you're actually paying for, is a couple dozen of the finest people on the planet to do this work so that Google grades you so that you show up organically. And in case it's in the back of your head, because I think it's back there in your head, it's like, is Nolen telling the truth? If I got up in organic finally, would my life change? It might.
It might.
It might, bro.
It's not going to change if you don't.
Hey guys, it's Nolen and Jason here with HVAC Webmasters.
Howdy.
We're going to talk about organic ranking for HVAC companies today. And I guess the biggest thing that I have to say on this, we still go to conferences to stay up on our skill sets. And one of the big things that was interesting is that 76% of searches are still organic. People 76% of the time click organic.
Over 3/4 of people are skipping the ads and skipping the map and going to the organic result.
What?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Which frankly surprised the hell out of us.
But half these guys don't even care anymore about it, right?
Right.
They don't think it matters.
Right.
Does it matter?
It absolutely matters.
Why have the numbers maybe trended upwards slightly?
Yeah, just for some reference, the last time we saw solid statistics on this, it was down to organic was 60%. So this is a pretty big
So they had a whole deal at the
direction.
conference about this, right?
Right,
They had a whole section about negative backlash of marketing, not only on Google, but on Facebook.
Yeah, especially paid advertising.
I forgot who it
specifically.
was. You can look it up if you want, but it's a psychology group had done a report that basically says that the populace is getting sick of getting hit in the head from whether it be a reposting of some crud on Facebook or marketing on Google.
Right.
And so
To the point, by the way, that Google, who makes 87% of all of their billions of revenue from advertising, has introduced automatic ad reduction into their Chrome browser. That's how bad the problem is.
Wow.
Is that they're willing
Guess why
to
they
reduce
did it?
their own revenue stream to address the
Do you remember
public's need on this.
that other chart about people that had ad blockers installed?
Yeah.
So the reason they might have done that is because you're going to go get a categoric ad blocker,
Right.
you know?
And what they did was an ad reducer, but it's up to 30% of people are putting ad blockers up to block any form of advertising when they look at the web.
So the takeaway here, and then we're not done yet, but I mean, that organic doesn't work anymore. It's just BS. You know, I mean, you're kidding yourselves. It's not only working, it's where the lion's share of stuff is. So I'd like to talk to these guys about the fact that, let's say if you're spending thousands and thousands per month, which is highly probable on paid advertising.
Yeah,
easy to do. You're like, gosh, Nolen, so you're telling me that maybe if I optimized high and organic keywords and map placement, I had reviews going well, and I actually deserved to be up there. And by the way, if you don't show up, they don't think you deserve to, and you probably don't, because the algorithm's pretty good about it, right?
Right.
Which, of course, what people pay us to do. But if you showed up there, maybe you'd get 300% more results.
Right.
For like almost nothing compared to what you're paying.
Yeah.
You know?
SEO was already dollar for dollar the best return.
Already.
And now
Already.
And now even more so, because we've had this huge swing into organic results.
Yeah. So I mean, So if throw that in your head for a minute and go, okay, I'm paying for this marketing outreach, whether it's on a search engine or social, or especially as a search engine marketing outreach, and you're like, okay, I could triple it. I'm not dogging paid. We do paid advertising budgets. I do them for myself.
Right.
I do organic. I do the mapping platform. I pay Google. I pay Facebook. Those are the ones that should just, by God, happen for everybody. And it's not. It's crazy to me that people don't do them all. But you start in order. That's another thing too. So here's organic sitting here, and let's say in order of what should happen is going to be organic, which includes your organic keywords and mapping,
organic
and
keywords,
reviews.
Mapping, reviews.
And what do you have to have?
Citations, continuity of your brand and information.
Yeah, all that
across,
stuff has to go into it.
Yeah,
Design, code base, content, regular work on this stuff, regular reviews. And then, so that's the organic stuff here. And then after that, you might pay for AdWords and do some there.
Google Ads, they changed
Google
the
Ads.
name.
Yeah, I
We
forgot.
we got told that a lot at the conference.
Yeah, Google Ads. It's been a little while. I forgot. Google Ads, and then your social marketing, and then you might pay for other type of lead services where they give it to 5 people or something, and then you have other outreach like print and referrals or whatever it is.
Community
Community
outreach and stuff like that.
And repeat clients and all that stuff. So what people typically do is they start here and then go here. So worst ROI, or maybe not on some of the referrals, but the print and the community outreach. Okay, worst ROI, next to worst ROI, next to worst ROI, next to worst, and the very best ROI.
Right.
And they don't do this stinking one
And this one right here is one of the least expensive, by the way.
It is the least expensive. I mean, I gave you the
Well, it's
number.
not as cheap as referrals because those are free.
Well,
but other than
no,
that,
they're not. I'm sorry. They had to pay to acquire that client. That's
okay, true enough.
Yeah, yeah. If you don't have this and you have to repopulate the client over here, you're kind of screwed to some degree. You're in trouble. So you've got your client, you're like, oh, we got to get repeat clients. Well, yeah, because you're paying for only those methods. I don't like the fact that these cost me more, but I still take them. The problem is if I didn't have this one, I don't know if I'd sustain properly.
Yeah, we couldn't pay enough into those to stay afloat.
Yeah, you'd pay more at least. I mean, these are, I mean, and you can't do that. So the problem is this, my competitors and your competitors do fight up to be in the organic. So if you're not in organic and they're getting the cheaper lead, you're having to pay for it. How do you do that? Well, you could raise your prices, pass it on to the consumer. Oh,
there goes your conversion.
Oops, you can't do that because the other guys are up there and they don't do that. They made a profit because they're getting 300% more leads for 500% less money.
Right.
So where are you if you're not doing it? I mean, you can start to see some issues that creep in when people have these sorts of. It's a false narrative, guys, for you to say that people don't do organic. An absolute false narrative. You've come up with it in your head. You say, oh, people don't click on that. They don't do it. I don't think I should do this.
My favorite one, people don't read the pages.
People don't read the pages.
We know that's false.
Yeah. You know that's false because if the bounce rate's 2 minutes and 12 seconds on average, you can go through and read all of it in Google Analytics, by the way. Yeah. Some people stay 5 minutes. Who cares if they stay 2 minutes and 11 seconds over 40 seconds? And you don't think it was long enough that they scanned 3 pages of content. They did it, and they did it better than other people, and then they converted. Right. And by the way, that deep dive content that's worked on regularly was what got the stinking keyword to get clicked on in the search ranking.
Exactly.
And the map placement to show up, I might add.
The reason Google values content is because people consume it.
Yeah.
So if really nobody was reading it, Google wouldn't reward it.
Yeah, people read it. It's the basis for your keyword searching. It's the basis for your map placement. It's not the only reason for your keyword ranking in your map placement. Right. It's some of the basis for it. You can't show up without it. If you have poor domain authority, template websites, poor content, never worked on, none of this crap shows up anyway. We go deep dive on all this on other videos. I'm not going to go into it. We do tons of that stuff high end so that all this stuff does show up, obviously. So, I mean, another comment I have in here is don't be that guy. Don't be that guy that doesn't understand any of this crap and then calls up acting like it doesn't matter and then try to think that you're going to get 1 or 2 things and have it all work. Of course, you're not that guy if you're still listening and you sought out this stuff out in the first place, or you're trying not to be that guy. I talk about this quite a bit, but it's okay if you tried cheap services. Why wouldn't you? It's logical to try once or twice, maybe 3 times. That might violate some old Chinese proverb, right?
Something.
Something. But if you keep doing the cheapest services possible, I told a potential client this the other day. It's not a guarantee that you're going to get great web services just because you spend money. But if you don't spend a little bit of money, you'll never get great web services.
Right.
So we're a great web company all day long. I don't know anybody better than this crew. It's the best there is. And if someone's not willing to pay just a little bit to get it and they go after every cheap thing out there, listen guys, I'm not going to mention these companies' names, but they're national brand name companies.
You've heard of them.
Screwing
You've
the
probably
living-
talked to them.
Screwing the living hell out of you, claiming they're going to get organic rankings and have taken your money over and over again. You're here listening because this has happened. Like, I'm 90% sure, unless it's just somebody trolling that's trying to be as great as we are. Hi there, by the way, if you're there. Glad you came. But 90% of the HVAC guys here are listening because they got screwed and they're sick of it.
Right.
So these national branded companies and bozos sitting at home with a good story, whoever they are that called and said we're going to do great, it's one or the other.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
either these punk asses that called them and taken it, or it's these large punk, these huge companies.
Large punk asses, singular punk
thousands
asses.
of employees that lied to you, or just this guy with a hope and a dream that is like wishing he could get going but has no skills and no resources, no ability to get you to rank.
Right.
And so that's what you're actually paying for, is a couple dozen of the finest people on the planet to do this work so that Google grades you so that you show up organically. And in case it's in the back of your head, because I think it's back there in your head, it's like, is Nolen telling the truth? If I got up in organic finally, would my life change? It might.
It might.
It might, bro.
It's not going to change if you don't.
I don't sit. People always ask us for specific numbers, but I won't mention a company, and we'll talk about a guy that we had, and I won't even mention the city because I don't want them started. Some of these guys are smart; they'll find him. But we had a guy in a city in California this year who had a record heat wave in that city, and they had only started with us about 3 or 4 or 5 months earlier.
Yeah.
So he started. I think that was smart. Listen, if you don't have any money at all, go ahead and start when your season starts. But if you start when your season starts, it's kind of tough to get it optimized like instantaneously when your season starts. So this guy spent some money and had it done, and then I think it was the day after the 4th of July. Mm-hmm. It's like in this particular area in California.
Heat wave in Southern California.
Yeah, hit, and they got like 300 organic phone calls over the weekend.
Right.
I think it was 270.
No, it was 300 a day. It was 600 over the weekend.
Oh, over the weekend.
So, yeah.
So, that sort of stuff can happen. That was all. Well, I don't know if every one of those was organic, though.
Oh, was some of it paid?
I think some of it was paid.
Okay.
The number that stuck in my head was 276.
Yeah. I think that was actually one day.
I mean, who gives a crap, though?
Yeah, really.
Any of these, I doubt anybody's listened through to this video this long that gets dozens of phone calls every day.
Yeah.
Because you're
much
busy.
less 300.
You're like, bro, I'm busy, man. I don't need to listen to you. I'm setting up retirement plans and buying apartment complexes and making money. So Nolen and Jason are kind of interesting, but screw off. So anybody listening doesn't get 276 phone calls or a weekend or a day or whatever the heck it was. But anyway, in this category of HVAC, on an organic basis, the phone can blow up once you're actually found. And by the way, this market, I don't remember the exact population, but I'm going to guess it was only about 150,000 people. It was not
something around that. It wasn't.
It was not L.A.
It wasn't Los Angeles.
Or
it
San
wasn't
Diego,
or
Sacramento.
something like
it was
that,
one.
yeah.
It was one of the many
smaller towns,
medium small town cities around. So, there are lots of people out there that search organic. I feel like I've gone off on it enough. Yeah. I don't feel like the average. Let me rephrase it. I know darn well the average company doesn't pay heed, doesn't do this properly, doesn't realize it, and has never stinking experienced it one time.
Right.
The reason it's in the back of their head is because they don't have it. And if you don't have it, you don't believe it. You almost feel like all those people are spending thousands of dollars per month. Doesn't cost that much. And we're typically almost no startup in a month with most situations, most clients. And the fees are so inexpensive compared to the other stuff that I outlined for you. And it doesn't make any sense not to go for it. It flat out doesn't make any sense. And of course, by the way, I'll say this too, we're a full digital marketing agency. We can help you with your ad spend on search, on social, and all that as well. And all this stuff that you need gets integrated. There's a lot of other videos about this stuff. I feel like I go off on them too much, so I'm going to stick to this category kind of. Did you have anything else you wanted to do?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Take it easy, guys. I hope to hear from you. Call if you have any questions, and like the video, or if you're doing podcasts, like it. We'll see you next time.